I'm not sure how many of you saw the CoffeeZilla Hayden Davis interview. And for the people who don't know who Hayden Davis is, he's one of the people that was responsible for Javier Milei's LIBRA token, also one of the people responsible for the Trump token and the Melania token. Anyways, CoffeeZilla sat down with him and had an interview. It was about an hour and 11 minutes long. And what Hayden said in this interview, so first of all, as a Bitcoiner, I am really glad that this guy had no filter, or it seemed that he had no filter. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that if you are still buying into the idea of meme coins or altcoins or any of this nonsense, then I can't say anything else besides you're a glutton for punishment. Anyways, so look, the point is that I took out the 12 most hard-hitting things that Hayden said, and we are going to go over them right now. Let's go.
We could argue all day. My point is, sniping when you're the team, I'm not saying it always should happen, but I'm saying a lot of times it's to protect and if there's enough volume, take some off so that people can have a chance to pump the chart back up. Because with meme coins, they go up and down so fast, these projects can get killed in 2 days.
I want you to think about this. This is after 20 minutes, okay? This is after 20 minutes, and you can clearly see CoffeeZilla's, you can clearly see his reaction to this. I mean, he's like, I think he's just trying to be respectful by keeping his head down, but essentially, right, Hayden's just explaining that this is just a pump and dump scheme. Anyways, let's continue. We've got 12 of these juicy scenes to go through.
And the only hope is that you have enough of a treasury to go and try and beat the snipers. This is a conversation that goes on with everybody in Solana. Everybody that knows how these launches work, that is the conversation.
So he just, that's one piece right there that he just said. Everybody in Solana is trying to figure this out. So this should be an indication for you that these projects have absolutely no use case than to enrich their founders. Anyways, let's move on to the next clip.
All of these, because everything is on the blockchain and because a certain amount of people have figured out how to game it, when you're the responsible party of trying to figure out how to make them last, because everybody, I will tell you, every single person.
I can't help but make them stop right here. They're trying to figure out how to make it last. So look, guys, that's a red flag. That should tell you right there. This thing had no intention to last, right? These projects have no intention other than to enrich the earliest people in the projects and or the developers and or the marketing teams. But this stuff is not long term. This is all just casino. It's a grift, and they're trying to figure out how to make it last longer. Anyways, okay, let's continue.
I know this is a bit of a sensitive topic, but I have to ask because, you know, this is part of what my story is about. You know, a lot of people have linked you to the Melania launch, and that is a big question on everyone's mind, mine especially, which is, were you part of the Melania launch, and was that sniped as well?
I mean, look, I think that, I mean, I told you like beforehand before this started, I mean, I'm happy to share the truth, but, I mean, you're asking a question.
I'm happy to share the truth, but so first of all, if you didn't get uncomfortable by that long pause at the beginning, yeah, maybe you should, because that is clearly an indication of somebody who does not want to answer this question. This is obviously information that that Hayden Davis does not want to divulge.
It's just, I mean, I'll answer, but it's factually going to put me into a lot of danger, which is fine. I'll answer. I was part of it. I think the team did want to snipe it because of how big the snipe was on Trump's. And we weren't the We definitely weren't the big sniper.
Okay, so I have to stop it here again. So obviously, right? They wanted to try to maximize profits on this because of how huge the Trump token was. Okay, which obviously is no surprise.
We were not that was what we were trying to avoid.
But also at the same time, Hayden is reminding you that him and his team, they weren't the big ones. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting thing that that I've noticed that scammers do, right? They tell you, they're like, listen, I get that I scammed, right? But we're not the big scammers. There's bigger scammers behind me that are doing much worse things. This is what happens when essentially it's cognitive dissonance. This is what it is. Anyways, let's continue.
And we didn't make any. There was no money made from the Melania team on any. We didn't take any liquidity out. Zero.
We're going to stop right there. They didn't make any money on it. They didn't take any liquidity out. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Wow. That's like shocking news. But I want to zoom in on that point. You said, like, well, we didn't take any liquidity out. One of the wallets we traced to the Portnoy thing, thing, your wallet, or not, I don't know if it's your wallet, whoever's wallet that was, sent money to a wallet which had, like, got sent $1.5 million of Melania token from something called Melania-liquidity2.sol. And then that wallet seemed to sell Melania tokens that it received for free. So you said y'all didn't sell any liquidity, but
didn't swap liquidity. Didn't swap liquidity. Didn't swap into single-sided.
I just want to point out he never said the word swap before.
I didn't say there was no money sold. There's a difference between swapping the liquidity and selling liquidations. Those are two different things.
Okay, so y'all swapped. You didn't sell, or the other way around?
No, other way around. Other way around.
Sold, you didn't swap.
Yeah.
Okay, CoffeeZilla, you gotta hand it to him, right? He is really polite, and I appreciate that because I think it is important, right, not to necessarily freak people out, and especially while they're in the middle of essentially divulging all of the crap that they're doing, you don't want to stop them. But it's pretty funny, right? Because CoffeeZilla is not saying it, but essentially he's catching that this guy's tripped up on his own words. He specifically. He said before that he swapped and didn't sell, and now in the end, CoffeeZilla just pointed out that he sold and didn't swap, and Hayden agrees with him. So yeah, that's good times. Anyways, let's continue.
I think you and everyone else should at least take a fucking second and look at what should people do and how should people make money from these. Because there's basically one way, right? There's fees, which are very nominal on big launches. And then there's also, of course, the platforms that make fuckloads of money. No matter if there's a rug pull or a project goes well or not, which I completely disagree with.
Yeah,
I
they
completely
sell shovels.
and I completely disagree with it. Like pump funds, fucking full of shit. Meteora, Jupiter, Bullex, Photon, all these guys, it doesn't matter. They're just making money on trading fees, and if people lose their shorts, they're still cooking, which I think is fucking bullshit.
I just want to point out here that essentially Hayden is trying to figure out, right, how to make money off of this. Now, look, it seems pretty obvious to a Bitcoiner. You just simply don't engage in creating rug pulls and marketing rug pulls to people. I mean, it seems like a real simple concept that you actually have to do something that provides value for people, and in return, they're going to pay you for this value, and essentially you're able to make a living without being a scumbag. But the thing is that people like Hayden, right? That's not part of what they're trying to do. They're trying to figure out how to monetize this without being viewed. as scammers without being viewed in this negative light. So I find this hilarious. So somehow, right, it is our fault, right? We need to figure out how they make money. Well, look, I'll tell you right away, don't be a fucking scammer. That's really it. I mean, if you're not rugging people, then people won't get upset with you for rugging them. All right, next clip. Here we go.
What would people do? What do you do when there's a broken system and you're trying to fix it and you're trying to sort out different launches?
It's a broken system. He's just trying to fix it. Okay, look, these meme coins that are worthless, that only enrich the the marketing teams and the creators, the developers. Actually, there are no developers, just the marketing teams. They're trying to fix a broken system, guys. Okay, so when you get rugged, what you need to think of is not the fact that you're rugged. You need to think about the fact that these guys, look, they're putting their lives on the line. Like, they're risking themselves to try to fix this system. Shame on you for not understanding that. Shame on me for not understanding that.
Different mechanisms, starting at higher market caps, figuring out who to involve versus not. How to keep the CA to yourself, how to market it without telling people.
What? How to, how to market it without telling people? Maybe you just shouldn't shill scams. Maybe that's it.
What the fuck should you do?
Not scam. That's what you should do. Just don't be a scammer. Anyways, you don't need to make meme coins, bro. You don't need to be selling this crap to unsuspecting noobs that don't understand what they're doing.
I would love just at least, right, if this is going to be recorded and go live and whatever, that to be a thought. Because nobody, the best people in crypto, don't have an answer. They don't. Nobody has an answer for it.
So the onus is on us, okay? It's not on him. It's not his fault that he's making those tokens and people are getting rugged. It's on us to figure out how to fix this for him. Honestly, we're going to keep going. This is just so bad. And you'd think, Phil, does this get worse? It gets worse. Here we go.
I think the best one to look at, like, from because I know like both money was raised and the most amount of money was made was on Trump. I think that's the best example, just being honest. Because you know that, right? You know that people were able to buy in at 500 million.
Yeah. Like
Okay,
people snipe that coin too, you mean?
No. Like before it launched at some private dinner, that they gave people special access to buying it.
Now, if you're surprised by this, then I'm really sorry, but you're naive to say the least, right? To think for a second that a bunch of wealthy people that are inside, right, that are part of their big club, to think for a second that these people did not have special access to be able to dump their bags to enrich themselves, like, I'm sorry, like, it's just embarrassing. Like, you cannot be this naive. And obviously, CoffeeZilla is not naive. He is just like, yeah, he figured that people sniped the Trump token, right? But he was unaware, and so was I for that matter, that there was a whole bunch of insider purchases. But once we learn of this, it's totally unsurprising. Anyways, continuing.
At 500
What?
million. Yeah.
Okay, now get ready for the backpedal.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who gave that? Who gave that?
Well, that was what I was told. Like, there were people at some sort of crypto event in Washington, D.C.
He knew it, but now he was told this. The backpedal. No, dude. It's, yeah, we know what happened. We know that people got a whole bunch of these shit coins for a big discount in order to make a massive profit.
See.
If that's I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, that's
I don't. That's what I was told. That's what I was told, by the way.
Okay, so give me your point. So your point is with that, though.
So my point is with that, and with Trump or any of these big ones, like, this is it is an insider's game. This is an unregulated casino.
Stop it right there. This is an insider's game. It's an unregulated casino. You know who's been saying this for years? Bitcoiners. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it's meme coins, whether it's fucking utility tokens, whether it's alternate proof of stake and all these like mixed protocols to, distributed proof of work and delegated proof of work and Lattice and all this crap. It's all just fucking sales nonsense. And the only people who are actually telling you this are fucking Bitcoiners. Okay? Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
If you're a retail trader thinking you're going to go make millions off of meme coins, you better study your fucking ass off. Like how do you think Pump Fund works? Pump Fund, the coin bonds, people put money in. Insiders know about it first. It rips up, and it's who loses last. That's how it's a game. Every single one of these is a game. There's none of them that aren't games. The only ones that aren't games are ones that have completely died and a tiny group of people decide to CTO them. So whether it's Trump, Melania, LIBRA, FWOG, fucking what other huge ones are there? I mean, you could just keep naming them. All of these are a game. And so from a retail perspective, I highly encourage people, unless they have, like if you have $100,000, go spend 10 and play the game if you want to do that. But it's not a good idea. It's like going to the casino, which is like that's the game.
Okay. I mean, he again reiterated the point. It is a game. And did you understand what Hayden said about the retail investor at the beginning? The retail, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to call them an investor. The retail exit liquidity. Did you understand that? Right? It's an insider's game. Now look, you know who is not surprised by any of this? Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners are not surprised by any of this, okay? And the people who genuinely know that things are working like this, and they're participating in these things, quite often they are at a high enough level to still be profiting off of this. But make no mistake, okay? If you are coming to this space and you think that all of a sudden you're going to become the fucking Warren Buffett of meme coins, right? Where you're just going to be buying discounted meme coins and becoming a multi-billionaire. This is not the arena you think you're in, okay? You are the exit liquidity. Anyways, let's continue.
What I think is that, like, I'm very pro getting everything away from regulated markets, but I'm now recognize, because I think that's another game. I think that's an insider game, right? Whether if it's the Pelosi's of the world or the stock game, that's an insider game too. It's just a different type, and people have to be more careful. But capital markets are an insider game. The whole thing is like nobody's ever going to convince me that it's not rigged. Banks pay hundreds of millions of dollars a year to do illegal shit because they can make more money other ways. Like, I could keep going on with bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. I think if you're gonna die on the sword of meme coins being, insider this or sniping that, like, you're full of shit, because there's every market in the world is like that makes a shitload of money.
There's no reason to do the morally correct thing, right? You don't need to be you don't need to make the moral decision, because look, everything around you is rigged. So he's not guilty. Everyone else is guilty. This is some serious mental gymnastics and some validation. Essentially, trying to point to another broken system and saying, you see, that system is broken. So there's nothing wrong with the broken system I'm participating in. I mean, it's just a cope. It's really not a good defense. And the reality is that I don't think he can actually defend himself in an honest way, because if he would, then he has to just simply admit that he's a scammer. And there's not too many of them that I've seen that are willing to admit that they're scammers. Anyways, let's continue on to the next one.
A narrative of like all KOLs, and I don't know that you're I don't know you consider yourself a KOL.
I had to go look this up because I have no idea what the hell a KOL is. Anyways, it's a KOL is a key opinion leader. I love these acronyms. You got to try to make this. You got to sell the sizzle, right? You don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle. So you got to make it sound like it's all fancy, you know, the KOL, we use special. Anyways, continue.
Or not, but like you guys are all making money from either sharing content or getting paid on deals. Those are the two ways you guys make money, right? Or maybe brand deals or endorsements. It doesn't matter. Like ultimately, it's because you keep floating content. And your guys' content, in this case, affects my family greatly.
Okay, so he's not a scammer, right? It's not that he's doing bad shit. It's that CoffeeZilla is exposing it, and that's impacting him negatively. This is mental gymnastics, okay? And unfortunately, there's probably a lot of narcissism going on there. There's probably a lot of emotional immaturity going on there. There's probably a major lack of self-awareness and an ability to actually self-analyze. It's really fucking frightening. So he's not a scammer, okay? CoffeeZilla is just making his life difficult by exposing what he's doing. If he wouldn't expose him, it'd be okay. It's okay. Just let him scam in peace.
And puts me in a fuckload of danger, even though I am not the main.
CoffeeZilla made him make the token, right? Like just, you know, CoffeeZilla forced him to do that. Everybody who's against him, everybody who's against scams, right? Everybody who's against rug pulls forced these people to make this token.
Main player here, and I don't want to be the main player.
Not only is it CoffeeZilla's fault, but at the same time, you need to remember that he is not the main scammer. There are bigger scammers here. Okay, bigger scammers.
That's why I've always sat in the facilitator standpoint. So I would appreciate when people, like, I don't need to be a victim. I'm not. But I would love if people could have a tiny bit of empathy, because I'm going to have security probably for the foreseeable future. And I'm
definitely empathetic to the fact that you scammed a bunch of unsuspecting noobs and have enough money to afford personal security for the situation you brought on yourself. Why should anybody be empathetic to a situation that you brought on yourself for scamming people? Like, this is so, again, right? Like, it's interesting how the narcissistic mind works, right? He says in one word, I'm not a victim, which for a split second I applauded that. I'm like, oh, maybe he's not a narcissist. But then it's followed up by the woe is me, I have to now pay for security.
probably going to be extremely fucked for the foreseeable future.
Maybe you shouldn't have been a scammer.
Something that I didn't want. I wanted 100%. I wasn't taking any money on this deal. I was doing this on behalf of Malay. I'm his advisor. I wanted to do this to further other conversations.
This is always my favorite one. They don't do it for money, right? It's not having the hundreds of millions of dollars. It's this principle. It's this principle take that me, fucking peons, we just don't get it. We just don't get the virtue that is behind the scam and the grift. He was an advisor.
Further other blockchain technology, further other initiatives. I didn't give a shit about the money that this could make. Other ones, sure. I'm not going to claim that I haven't made money on them. That would be stupid. But, and then lastly,
this was different.
However you post this and however you transition it, I would appreciate at least some light shed on the fact that I am not a scammer, nor do I think Libra's a dead project. And I do actually believe Malay will support it, by the way.
I just want to point out that every scammer says they're not a scammer. And that they don't think the project is dead. So look, Charlie Lee, who started Litecoin, he doesn't see himself as a scammer either. But he pulled the all-time best fucking rug pull ever, because his bag holders thanked him for dumping at the top. Charlie Lee is the master of this. Anyways, this is just, it's so crazy.
We'll find out tomorrow and the next day. But my
And just an update, right? Javier Milei did come out in support of this, but also at the same time, he did an interview that where he says he didn't promote this token, he just shared it like he does with everything else. So this is the Bitcoin influencers that hoisted Milei up on their shoulders. When are you guys gonna stop fucking putting everyone on your shoulders and stop just cheerleading for all of these asshats? It's nonsense and it's embarrassing.
My bet is that he supports it, and I think he's better off supporting it than he's not in his current predicament.
So I just want to point out he's saying that he's better off supporting it because otherwise it's going to make Milei look even worse, right, than he already looks for being a shitcoin scammer now. So again, right, it's got nothing to do with doing the right thing. Doing the right thing would be to completely stop this project and refund all of the money back to the people that lost it originally, because it is a giant scam and a giant grift. Now, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. The other piece of this is free markets, right? There was lots of people calling this stuff out as a scam, and people didn't listen and they speculated. So maybe in that particular world, maybe they got what they deserved, right? Or maybe they got what was coming to them, not necessarily what they deserved. Anyways, let's continue on. We've got just a few more clips to cover on this.
Yeah, just to go back. My fundamental issue, sort of, with you, assuming the $100 million gets to the right people, is the sniping. It's the like clandestine sniping, which you've basically said was requested of you. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, dude, that's a long. I think it's a longer story.
Are you benefiting from these snipes? So I think that's the question everyone has, is like, are you launching projects, you know they're going to be launched, and then you benefit from basically investing in the project super early and peeling off money?
I haven't. So the answer is I haven't benefited from them as of now. I don't know.
As of now, I don't know.
To be honest with you, it's considered treasury.
What?
So again, like, and I want to reiterate this because I think a lot of people don't understand how complex when you deploy these launches, how complex they are. But you're competing against 100+ of the greatest snipers in the world who are just peeling 10, 20, 30 million off these big launches and walking away. And in 2 seconds, they'll also, the other.
So he's trying to out-scam the scammers by scamming first, if I understood this correctly.
The other thing is they'll dump it in 2 seconds. They'll just dump it based on when they want to. They won't even sell based on like a DLMM or a CLMM or a strategy or like there's $1 billion of volume. This won't hurt the chart. Nothing. They're just going to nuke it when they want to.
What a tangled web we weave. So this isn't really like, even though the clip is about the CoffeeZilla interview with Hayden, it's not. I'm not actually attempting to discredit Hayden personally. What I am attempting to do is illustrate to you guys what this space really looks like. And Hayden isn't unique, right? What he is explaining is not some unique thing that only he is doing or something like that. This is a problem of this space, right? And the truth of the matter is that there is no other function for any of the tokens besides Bitcoin than exit liquidity. And I know that that's something that people don't want to hear, but it's true. Okay? It's Bitcoin is the only one where this is not going to end up being your destiny. Sitting there on the sideline, completely freaking rug pulled by some guy who thinks that he's being a hero, or a team that thinks they're pretending that they're being heroes by scamming the scammers first so that they make the most money when they were supposed to be creating a token to help the economy. Like it's all just nonsense. It's nonsense narratives. It's bullshit stories. There's no use cases except exit liquidity on this. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that interview with CoffeeZilla. And of course, in the show notes, there's going to be a link to the full interview so you guys can watch the whole entire thing on CoffeeZilla's channel. Don't forget, all of this is also audio only and can be found on fountain.fm. All right, that's all I wanted to talk about. Catch you on the next one.
More toxic than the most toxic Bitcoin maxi ever. They said he's more